Hello, we should be live now. So, yeah, I think that everything works. So I haven't been streaming for quite a while now. It has been like 1 week or two. I would say like 10 days. So yeah, I still need to get like used again to the same stuff. Anyway, I managed to do some work on the side for this project, but I didn't have time to stream it really. So yeah, here we are back with the same project that I'm trying to finish, which is this SVG editor. And as you can probably already see, there are few changes from the last time, like visually speaking, and also with functionalities like the text now. So I added quite some changes, and also some other were hard to like figure out because like this entire Fabric thing is it's kind of like I'm working with that, but some of the features are quite new to me. So also trying to figure out which one are like the best solution for some problems. It's not immediate, which requires some time to even understand. Now, so one of the major things that I have been working on recently has been the migration to the latest version for Fabric, which is Fabric V6. So at the very beginning, when I started doing this kind of project, I figured that I was able to run everything that I wanted to in Fabric version 5, but later on, I found out some issues that forced me to move to the newer version, which is this current one, the version 6. And the version 5, you can still find the documentation back here. So what were the major issues that I found when working with that? Well, first of all, typing. So whenever I'm inside of the project, like right now, and I have to, I don't know, find like this kind of annotations about the methods. This is way easier now because the documentation is way better, but so far I was always using the npm types for FabricJS. So I was using this one. The problem with this is that for some reason this is not updated with every type. I mean, generally speaking is good, but there are a few types that are wrong and simply it doesn't work. Like for example, I'm trying to pass when I'm creating like a polygon or something, I'm trying to pass some points into it, and this will simply not work. It will ask me, you know what, I need a string, and the documentation says otherwise. And it's not even like the documentation is the typing. So at that point I was like, okay, fine, whatever, let's try if it's possible to do everything with the newer version. And it took some time to move everything to version 6, but ultimately like I was able to do it. I managed to do this. And yeah, so what are like some of the main differences? Like there was like a migration breaking changes, I think. Yes, this issue here. So basically there is an entire list of things that are no longer working, or they changed basically how they work. And it was quite a bit. Some methods stopped working, some were completely removed. Some are not yet they are not even migrated completely. So some of the features may not be working, but the ones that I found so far, somehow I managed to make them work. But since they are still working on this, probably there are going to be some improvements. Also, I found out that they will be working also on the undo redo feature, so I don't have to focus that much time on doing that. As soon as that will be ready, I will integrate it, replacing my current solution. Because my current solution basically right now is taking the state of the entire graph and then it's like copying every single time you make a modification, which is absolutely like not optimal. You want to just check the changes, and yeah, so they are still working on that, but being now on the latest version is is better because I can just be on par with all their modifications. But as you can see, the list of features, requests, and bugs is quite long. It's quite long here. So yeah. Anyway, let's check out what are like the things that are improved right now. So I added this one here, improved the color picker. Now it's just random. So I'm not sure whether I mentioned it last time, but right now when I can when I create something, I have like a slightly better color picker. It's not still like the one that you can find like in most of the commercial applications, but the color picker right now looks a little bit better. And also I have this color finder. So probably I already mentioned it last time, but I really don't remember, so maybe I will repeat myself here. And this is one thing, and some other features are like adding finally like all the transformations and making them work, but there are still some exceptions. So this is like a fascinating thing to me because like in the end I'm going always back to like this SVG editor to take inspiration and to understand what they did in order to make it work and stuff. And I find that more and more like the things that they did, they absolutely made sense for some stuff. So the decisions that brought them to like create the SVG editor that they have in the way it is, they actually make sense once you try to build one. Once you try to find what is going on, you find some issues and you have to fight with them. And then when you realize, you're like, oh, okay, so that has to be the solution. And it's actually what was their solution in this case. And in particular, right now, I'm referring both like, for example, to the layers that like in the layers, everything in here looks like to be a path, right? And the reason is because a path is simply easier to deal with for a lot of things. For a lot of things, it's simply easier to deal with because you don't have to treat separate cases in different way. And yeah, this make it working with so much easier. Also, for example, in here, shapes, everything basically is a path. No matter what, when you try to like create a square or whatever, everything is a path. So by doing this, they can save themselves some troubles when trying to do some other operations. In my case, when I'm trying to like create something in here right now, like for example, this one is a rectangle, I'm still creating a rectangle in here. But then we have the feature for the union, right? So when we do the union, right now this one is just one object, right? So let's visualize the difference a little bit better. So let's suppose that I have, let's make it more clear. Let's suppose that I have this rectangle in here and I have another one, right? Now, this one, if I create a group, right, those are still two separate rectangles. Oh, here we are missing a name. So even in my migration, something is still missing because this group here doesn't have a name yet. I need to fix that. But anyway, these two are like together right now, but actually they are still separated objects, right? So if I create, on the other hand, if I create a union, as you can see, this is what is happening, right? Now, the thing is, as you can see, like we have the rectangles in here, and then we have this, which is a path. Actually, it's a polygon, and the reason why it's a polygon is because for me right now it was easier to create when I was working with the previous version, when I was working with version 5. And the reason is because, as I mentioned before, like working with polygon would let me accept points because I was trying to pass every single point of this, and there is an algorithm for the union of those points, and this will create a new polygon, right? So this would work with polygons only in version 5, but I'm expecting that in version 6 I will be able to make it work also with path. So that would be a win. But as you can see, the thing is, I have to work with path in order to make it work like this. Otherwise, it's simply impossible to make it work using the libraries that, for example, allow you to manipulate the path in order to create new objects. And we have also like other operations that right now are working, like for example the XOR operation that will output two objects. So that's that was also quite interesting to implement, like finding finding the conversion for 2 polygons in order to to make it work. Now the thing is, there are still some stuff that doesn't work exactly as I'm expecting it to. So for example, let's suppose that we are starting again with the same rectangle in here, and those two rectangles right now, if I create a union, this works fine, right? But the problem is that for some reason, like let me try again with this one, but this time we are going to like move it. Like we did just we did just the rotation right now, and also the rotation appears to be working fine. So let's now try another case, the case with the skew. And for reasons that are to me still unknown, like the skew is simply not working. And the reason is like whenever I'm asking like the in here, when I have it commented, okay, whenever I'm asking for the coordinates of the point itself, right? The definition for the get coordinates says that it's going to return me like 4 values, which are like the top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left, and this should be the result of the transform matrix applied on top of the rectangle. Now, the problem is that first of all, like the transform point that they are using here has been deprecated, and right now the new notation basically it's like p.transform, or like the point dot transform, and then you pass the transformation. So first of all, I'm not sure that this way of doing stuff right now is the correct way for them if they need to migrate it, and if by migrating it this is going to maybe solve the issue or not. But what is happening in here is that basically the skew information is not being taken into consideration when you have when you retrieve the coordinates. So I did some like operations, some tests for the skew, but unfortunately this doesn't seem to be working correctly. And this is quite weird because like the operation that you can do like is like you can translate some object, you can rotate it, you can apply the skew also operation, and the thing is you can also have the scaling, right? So I found out like all of them are taken into account with the exception of the skew, and this is I don't know, this is quite weird, probably still missing on their side, and this applies only on the rectangle, right? On the other side, if I were to like transform a rectangle into a polygon, right, into a polygon immediately when I create it, at that point the problem would not be there anymore. So let's suppose that I'm going to create a new rectangle, right? So whenever I'm having this rectangle in here, right? So let's see, what am I doing to the element in here? I'm just adding the element to the canvas, right? So what if I were to say, okay, this is the rectangle to polygon, right? So this one is taking the polygon, okay, the rectangle, and returns that element is equal to rect polygon. Okay, so what is happening in this case? Oh yeah, of course, like this is the new rectangle. Let me check. New polygon. I can remove this, I don't need the skew information anymore. This is taking the points. This should take the points of the rectangle. Let me remove every part of the code referring to it. But like the main idea is that by transforming like the rectangle, by transforming the rectangle into a polygon. Okay, so now when I'm creating it, of course, like it has to change. So most likely I have to do it when the object is done. So this happens when the mouse is up. So this I had it before already, like in here. So if the temp value object here is of type rectangle, then you transform it. I need for Prettier to start working again, otherwise reading just white code is not ideal. Prettier, No, it's actually it's not prettier. Of course, it's like the LSP. Let me try again. So that one was in. We search up again for mouse up. Okay, choose not to initialize, but anyway, let's see if that works now. Yeah, so as you can see, like the first thing that happens in here is this one is not a rectangle anymore. So that's the difference. That's not a rectangle anymore. It's just a polygon. And by doing this, if I remember correctly, this yeah, this will work correctly. So if we stop using normal objects, like for example rectangle or ellipse or whatever, and we transform everything into a path, basically like the algorithm for the path union is going to work correctly. And the reason is because like inside of the polygon we have the points, and by taking the points of the path, it's able to find them on the scene. That's the main issue. So what is happening is we have this object that is on the scene, and the coordinates are relative to the object itself. So there is a special like transform inside of the object. And when you are trying to locate them, first of all you need to locate them in the scene. And what happens is if you try to get the coordinates of the rectangle inside of the scene, it's going to fail if applying this queue. So anyway, let's remove this part for a moment. Let's keep a rectangle as a rectangle, and let's move on. This part will surely need more debugging, but anyway, like another thing that I managed to do was like as I mentioned maybe before, it's like the text. So it's possible to add text, but I still need to work out a couple of things. Like for example, here we have fonts, so I also add like a font selector. This maybe graphically speaking needs to be like reworked a little bit, but like you can also search for them. So Arial, yeah, Comic Sans, yeah. This kind of stuff works as well, and you can change, I don't know, some properties. Can change some properties in here. And then also there was another issue, like they migrated the naming of bring forward and so on and so forth for the transformations, but right now should be working fine. So we also have the text. We also have a very basic version of the text. Now, one thing that I wanted to do is to try to export and import, which are some of the features that usually you would want to have. And so in here, transformation, union, difference, and intersections, those are done. Undo, redo, I will just keep it here for the moment. Since I feel that when they are going to release it in the new version of Fabric and I'm going to replace it, that's when actually it will be done. And save, export, and import. Save will require us to have some kind of backend also, which we may or may not work on. But the export and import, yeah, we should have them. So let's start to see what has Fabric to offer with the export. Export canvas, core concepts, export. Supports JSON and SVG exports. Okay, cool. JSON export meant to saving and restoring visual state on the canvas. Okay, so this is basic serialization. So this serialization would be the same one that we would eventually use in case we wanted to save this information on a server and then restore it later on. Let's see. SVG is meant to output visual canvas. Okay. That can be imported in other software. SVG and Canvas are not simulated but not identical. As a result, SVG are not one-on-one. Some versions supporting SVG export but not supporting SVG import. For example, T-span or patterns. We haven't been there yet, so I don't know about those. But yeah, let's see how do you export. Okay, cool. You have them, but what do you do? Just let me guess, like SVG, like Canvas. This one, I guess, is anyone using this method? I have a little bit of a mess here. I need to clean up the code. Because there are a lot of stuff that is going on with tests and so on. A lot of things that I need to like clean up. So let's support that export SVG, right? And we have the canvas, and we have this get canvas, right? So const canvas, if not canvas, then we are going to also okay. This one cannot export as SVG, and then we are going to return. Right? Do we have other modifications that I should be aware of? No, just some minor changes. Yeah, also the styling of the code is changing across like the other PC that I'm working on, so I will need to fix that as well. Yeah, seems reasonable. Let's see. So now canvas to SVG. Okay, what is going to give me viewbox with okay, to SVG. So this function here, what is going to do? Return the SVG representation of the canvas. Okay, so this is the export in the SVG way, right? So canvas to SVG viewbox, okay, width and height. So if I give it a viewbox, this is going to cut it, right? But the width and the height is actually the width and the height of the width and the height of the canvas itself. So my safe choice would be to give it both. Like the viewbox should be. Wait a minute, because it starts from 0, 0, right? Like SVG viewbox. It's always like starting from 0, 0, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this kind of thing, like 0, 0, 100, 100. So I'm guessing that this one is referring to X and Y of the documentation here of the code. So yeah, I think I will just keep the same size, the width and the height. Yeah. Okay. Let me check just a second. Okay. So let's try it out. I'm going to have the size of the canvas inside of the canvas itself. So what happens if I don't put anything? What happens if I don't put anything? Probably it's going to use some kind of default, but let's see the default in here. Viewbox of the object. Let's try it out. Let's simply try it out. This is going to set SVG overlay color, background image as well. Okay. Okay, interesting. So now let me just print it out on here, and we are going to add it at least for now. Like we have this, I want to be able to say, okay, I want to export, right? So maybe this bring forward, send backwards, and so on. These should be in the same category like the transform one. That could be useful. And then we are going to have some export and import kind of options in here. Let's start with use context menu, right? I want to have, let me see. Oh, okay. Okay, I have these things here, which is the latest one. Okay. So I'm going probably just to add it in here. Export, and this is going to be SVG store export SVG, right? Disable if set this actives. I don't know, it's quite to 0, I would say. there is no shortcut for that, at least not for now. Okay, so we have the export in here. Wait, disabled. I always miss this. I always write it the opposite the first time. So, okay, if this is selected, nothing happens, but then you can export it. Okay, so export, let's see what's happening. Okay, I try to do this. Okay, I have it. And yeah, the view box. Yeah, okay, so basically what is happening is taking the width and the height, and it's going to set them as default. The view box will be 0, 0, and then X and Y will be 500, which is the same as the size. So you can customize it and put like some like masked version or cropped version, I would say. But then you have also like a bunch of other information like created with Fabric. And at first I wanted to remove this stuff, but right now, after like everything that I've spent on it, I've passed on it, I don't even mind it anymore. It's fine. It's fine. We can just have it. Now the thing is, what we need to do is we need to create the object and attach it. So how was it? Like create a file from text and download it. Browser, I guess. This thing here, yes, I was looking. I think I was looking for the simplest solution for. Yeah, so this will be inside of our utils. I guess it's fine. It will be in here, function, download content, download content. And I would say that there is this content and there is the file name, right? And then, yeah, they have it on the other way around. I mean, it's fine. File name and content. And in here, that's its text. Let me just replace text. There's only one. Oh no, there's another one. Okay, so I'll just manually modify it. File name is fine. Okay, let's see if this works. This download content. Download content. And I'm going to call it like, I don't know, exported SVG. Exported SVG is the first one, the file name, right? Yeah. The second one will be the SVG itself. Let's see how that works. I'm going to have this one and export. Okay, exported. Cool. Okay, that worked. That's fine. This is nice. Okay, fine. Let's do the opposite right now. I want to be able to import them as well. So do we still have it? Yeah, okay. Let's try to import them as well. And I'm not honestly a big fan of having this one here. So I saw a cool thing in here that they had before, like the file selection and stuff. I guess it was, let me see. It was like a navigation menu. Yeah, navigation menu here. No, it was definitely not this thing. Menu bar. Yeah, it was this one. And this is cool, but I don't have this many options, so it would be a little bit useless for me. Like view, I mean, at least for now, like undo, redo I have, but cut, copy, paste, probably so, yeah. And in this I could put some other stuff. But at the same time, like creating another menu probably in here, I don't know, feels like a little bit of an overkill, maybe. I mean, why not? Let's try it out. So, okay, fine. Next plan is let's have a menu here with the file and the edit options as we have them in here, right? With a few information in that. It's probably going to contain some of the stuff that is in here as well, so it's fine. let's do this. So first of all, we have the scene, right? The scene, this is in here, and we have the context menu. Okay, so okay, I want it to be outside of the scene, meaning that it has to be in here, right? Yeah. And we have okay, this is the main page, and this is the initial like flex stuff. So I want the menu to be in this area here. So I don't have the drawing tool here. But anyway, I need it to be on the top side, right? But at the same time, I don't want to mess with the properties in here. So, probably I'm just going to do it into the scene here, flex call. And then we are going to have here something. And this something is this menu here. It will be in this part. Yeah, seems reasonable. Okay, let's see how this is done. This is a menu bar. Okay, menu bar. Okay, I will just take everything probably from here. Wait, this one seems more complex with more values. So I want maybe to start with this and start removing things. Okay, I don't know, menu bar. This is the menu bar. Eventually this should start coloring stuff. I will need to figure out what's going on with the LSP. It's not this responsive as it was before. Like something clearly has changed. I'm not sure whether I haven't updated something or let's see. Because I absolutely love working with NVim, but whenever there are some updates that I'm not really sure about, but I'm like, okay, fine, let's go with that. And then everything stops working as smoothly as before. I don't know. There are some breaking changes, cool. Let's hope not breaking for me, but let's see if there is anything else already updated, so should be fine. Okay, let's close this and let's start it again. Menu bar. Okay, whatever. Let's add some scripts with TS setup. Okay. And now, instead of something, I'm going to add the menu bar. Okay, and this didn't work. Nice. SVG store has been installed. Now let's figure out why this hasn't. Wait, is there a component called? Oh, I see. There is a component also called menu bar, so probably they are conflicting right now. That's not cool. Not cool at all. SVG menu. I'm just going to call it like SVG menu or something. Yeah, this should be better. And in the main page here, SVG menu, right? Let's see. Okay, perfect. Now it works. Oh, and also everything in it, like icons and stuff. Oh no, these are like text. But yeah, it looks like this works correctly right now. Just need probably to match the colors with this thing. Yeah, this one is probably too dark. I don't know, I will need to match colors. Not very good with that, but I will try. So view and profiles, we don't need that, we can remove that. SVG menu, view, can I just do this and this, I guess. Okay, and I have file and edit. So these operations here should be connected with the SVG store, right? So this should be also enabled only if like the same conditions as here, basically. So yeah, I might also need to add this later on. But for file here, I want to have export and import. So let's start with that. File. What do we have? We have share, right? Share is an interesting thing. We could add it later on. Print. No, I don't think so. Oh, they have menu bar separator here manually, of course. So, that's different from the use context menu, right? Use context menu here. Yeah, it's a little bit different because they have context menu content and so on and so forth. But like at the end of the day, like having this thing should behave exactly like this one. There should be basically no difference between those two things. But the components are different, so I cannot like immediately reuse everything. So for now, let's just have like the basic solution with the SVG menu. We're going to have instead of print, it will be like export. Let's ignore the shortcut. Let's add the click, and the click should have the operation from the SVG store. So I need to import it. SVG store. Okay. Click. SVG store. Export SVG. Right? Okay, cool. Let's see if that works. Yes, it works. Like it exported an empty SVG. Now, let me see. I want to make a couple of tests just to be extra sure. Oh yeah, this cannot work like this. I need to first do this. Okay, and export. Perfect. Yeah, this works. Now, next thing, it will be the import. The import actually can happen in different ways, because some users may want to drag and drop stuff into it, or just select it from the list of from the elements in the Finder. Nope, not this one. I was looking for something else. Was looking for, let me move this part here as well, for downloads. Yeah, so I want probably to import some stuff from the downloads and maybe drag and drop it into the editor. So that could be one thing that we can do, and the other one is to select it from here, from the imports, right? Okay. So here we will have import, right? Import SVG. This is the option. Import SVG. But how does that work? This has to like create an invisible element or to have already like an invisible element that when you click it, you are going to select some file. And when you select that file, it's actually going to trigger an event that is going to, yeah, I think that we need something like that. So in here, instead of saying when you click this, what actually you may want to have is an invisible input, like hidden of type file. I'm not sure this is going to automatically trigger it though, because you have to have that like the label or something. So let me see, this is not going to work immediately, right? Is it? No, it's not, because it needs to like move the actually when you click the menu bar item in here, what it actually needs to do is to click the input instead. So invisible input click upload file or something like that. But then what is the structure? You have like a form, right? Input button type ID, okay. And what happens when you click this thing? ID browse. Doesn't look like to me it's going to work based on that. No, let me find. Wait, don't they have something like the input as well? Because I don't want to like reinvent the wheel. This is like the input. Do they have like file? Yes, okay, I can do this, but label and input. Yeah, but I don't want it to be seen. But this one, when you click also the picture here, apparently works. That's interesting. Let me see. We can do this. I mean, we don't have to even go with this one. We can just have the input and have like a reference to it. This would be like the upload SVG ref. Let me try this out. So this one would be like the ref for as an HTML element. HTML element or null, right? But when you click this, what you actually want to do is when you click this one, you want to actually click the upload SVG ref. If it's there, you want to click it, right? So that's the idea. So yeah, exactly. That's the idea. So I don't need their custom component. We can go even without it. But now we need to be able to detect when we change the file, right? Is it the change or it was like the input? So the value of an element changes or the content of an element with the attribute content editable is modified. This is too much, maybe. Change. The change event is fair for input. Select and text area when a change to the element value is committed. It's committed by the user. So probably this one. On upload file, I guess. Or maybe not. Maybe it's better to have on. Wait a second. First of all, you need to have an accept parameter in here. Accept. What is the accept SVG file? No. Input file accept SVG. Is it like text SVG, right? That's what I remember. Like text SVG? No, SVG. What is the meme type of that? Oh yes, this one. Image. Oh, okay. It's image SVG XML, I guess. Okay, so in this case, this is going to only accept SVGs right now as an input. So this is a step forward. And when you change it, you want actually to call the SVG store function that I was creating, the import one, which has not been yet created. And import SVG, this one. And this should have like the file, which I'm not sure what is going to be yet. I guess it's a file, but I'm not sure it's a file or a file event. Import SVG. Okay, and that's when it's changing, right? So when we upload something. So first of all, let's try to import something. From the downloads, we try to import this, right? Okay. So yeah, it's an event. it's an event, and it didn't work as I was expecting it to, because it has I don't see the files themselves. Input HTML input on change file, something like that. Accept, name avatar, whatever. Now my question is, how do I trigger? Probably it's maybe it's more view specific, because otherwise I need to grab now the value of the input, right? So view input input file on change. Change preview files. Okay, these files. Oh, there is like these refs my files. Okay, so this is stored into the reference, right? That's fine, but I mean, okay, there is an extra step to do. Yeah, that's an extra step to do. On change files. Let's have a function here that does exactly that, and this will mean that this is going to call the SVG store, import SVG with the upload. First of all, if not upload SVG ref value, then no ref for the upload SVG input files, cannot upload, return. So this is one thing. Now we are going to get it from the upload SVG ref value files. Where did you get it from? Files. This doesn't seem to be happy about it. HTML file input element. How do you call it? Input element. This seems reasonable. Okay, fine. TypeScript is not that crazy. Okay, let's see. Wait, did I solve anything? Because like if I'm going to import it right now, right? Value files, this is going to take actually an array of files. Oh yeah, anyway, I will console log it so I will see it. It's fine, import. Let's try to get this one. No ref for the upload. Nice, exactly our error. So why did this happen? Upload SVG ref value, but it should be there after the initialization, right? On change files. Like I'm expecting this thing to be initialized. What? That doesn't sound right. Okay, so what is... No. What is the problem with this thing? This has value null. Is it because it's not like... No. It should be there. Definitely should be there. Like the element is there. Just let me remove this one. I have just this kind of feeling. Let's ignore this one. Let's click it. No, it's not that one. Okay. So that's not the case. Well, let's try it this way. Okay, let's remove this one. Let's remove also value. Now it should be just files. Okay. Now the click is gone. Not cool. This is the idea, right? Upload SVG ref click. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. It cannot find that thing anymore. Right? So fine. We're going to change it once again, and we are going to assign it as a reference when it's mounted. So this one is ref to null as an HTML input. So it's a ref to an HTML input element or null, right? So this is one thing. Now this has to be assigned in here. SVG ref value is equal to this, and this should be fine. Now if that's not the case, okay, it's going to work now. I forgot the click. So the click here is going to say upload SVG ref and then click on it, right? I need to debug it a little bit, otherwise it's hard to see what's going on. So this one, actually what I wanted to do is unmounted is going to retrieve the element which has this ID, right, which is upload SVG ref. It's hidden, so I'm not sure whether this is going to compromise the thing or not, but I will double check. SVG, this one on click import, this one I wanted to say, okay, upload SVG ref value if, let me just take this same thing, cannot click, value click, right? Okay, cannot click means that this one has not been assigned, meaning that on mounted, this document element get by ID has not been working. Yeah. There is no ref. It still doesn't find the ref. I'm missing something very simple. Upload SVG. I don't know what I'm missing here. Upload SVG. Because this one is looking for a ref. Okay, so wait. Doesn't find it. Doesn't find it even if it's here. Oh wait, I see. I'm missing here. Okay, so this is not even initialized. So if this is not initialized, how can it ever find it, right? So I see. This is interesting. This is interesting. So does it work with the reference? Maybe, because otherwise I will need to check when the menu is open and when it's closing. Let me try. ID. Instead of that, we're going to use the ref and hope for the best. This should be still the same code, right? Okay. But no ref for the upload. Yeah, because the ref is gone. Basically, the ref is gone. As soon as you close the menu, the ref is gone, right? This has to be the reason. It's like closing it, and by closing it is like removing it. So wait, let me watch the element, like upload SVG ref value, whatever. Value, change ref to value. Let me test this one. Yeah, exactly. So whenever it's closed, it's basically gone. And right now it already changed the ref to null. So whenever I'm importing something, this has no idea where to put it. So this is the issue. Now, how to deal with that? We could eventually have some like files we could have whenever we click on that, the input element is already gone. So there's not much to do with that. We could keep it open until we are done with that. So menu bar should have something like open, right? Update open. I remember something like this. I mean, if they are consistent across the SHAD-CN library, this should work also for the menu bar. I'm hoping and coping right now that this thing works also in here. And the open can be like ref false and function on update open, right? And I don't know, value, and this open value is equal to value, right? This is, I'm hoping and coping that this thing works. Right, so if this works, what I could do is I can control when the menu is open and when it's not, and when I'm clicking, for example, when I'm clicking on the import, right, I could prevent the menu from closing. That would be the idea. Like, can I just prevent or stop? I don't know, just I'm trying to not close it, right? I'm not sure this is going to happen. No, it's not. It's just going to not allow me to click it. I think. If in this place here I'm going to like change the value, right, to true anyway, I'm not sure this is going to be executed in the, no, it's not. So this cannot work like this. Just to test this, if it's correct or not. This is going to like be executed later on. Is it going to still keep open the menu? No, it's not. Okay, so this is not the way to go. I need to find another one to do it. So eventually the input, what if the input is actually outside? And in order to not have issues, we are just going to have a flex on top of this thing and the menu bar, right? And then instead of flex, actually I just want it to be full, right? Let's see. So the input is actually outside right now. It's still being clicked. Okay, perfect. And I have the files. Okay, nice. It was easier than I thought. Just let's keep the input outside so it's not going to be deleted whenever the menu is closed. And it actually kind of makes sense to have it there. So it's fine by me. Now, when this happens, we have a list of files. I actually just want to filter and get one file. So, yeah. Let's see. As we click value files, so files. Wait a second. Let's do it like this. If files length. Fair. If files and files length is equal to 0, there are no files. And then we can return, right? Otherwise, there is at least one, and we are going to pick one. We are going to pick the first one. So files and files length, right? Files is possibly null. I don't see that if it's the check if it's here. If not files or okay, this is fine. Yeah, that's on me. So we are going to import the SVG, and this is going to be what exactly? File list, right? So one element is of type file. Okay. And yeah, let's check if we can see the content of it, right? Okay, we probably have to transform the file into something else. So, HTML JS file to buffer, I guess. To buffer, file to buffer. But this is in Node, right? Hey, does it work? Like, do I have buffering here? I do. Okay, so if I want to create a buffer from the file, yeah, from file, right? File is not assignable to this parameter. So what do you want? You want to have an array buffer. Wait, what? Actually, it's actually in disk. No, it's not. It's not base64. I just want to do this. But this is Node, so I'm not sure this is going to work. Yeah, file reader. This sounds more what I want. Read as an array buffer blob. A method of the file reader interface using to start reading the content of a specified blob or file, which is fine, which is what I want. When the read operation is finished, the ready state property becomes done. Okay, sounds about right. And give me the file reader. File reader, abort reads as binary string, data URL, read as text. Look at this one. Can we see what happens with this? So file reader, right? File read. Do I need to create one? fr like new file reader maybe. Okay, so fr read yeah. Read as text. What do you want from me? A blob, right? Okay. So how about a file? Cool. I expect it to be an asynchronous operation though. And this says just, oh yeah, wait. This is going to read it and then this is going to change the status. Okay, makes sense. This is going to change the status of the file reader. So you start reading it and on, yeah, there are a couple of things here. On load end, yeah, this is the method that we read about, right? It was in here, load end. Yeah. So there is this load end. And when this is done, we are going to have our file, right? So first of all, there is also like an on error, right? On error, what is this? It's like, should I put it as a function or is it like a function? Error. On error. Let me see. This sounds like I can find an example. Yeah, it's like a lambda function. You can just use it and throw the error or handle it somehow. I will just console error it for now. That's a funny line. On error, console error. Clear. That's clear. On load end, this I hope this is a text at the end of this entire thing. Console log the text, right? So let's see if I import it now. No, it's progress event, right? This should be done though, right? So current target, there is a file reader. What are we printing here? Result. Here we go, result. And this is what I'm looking for, I guess. So this is target result. Target result. Okay, so we will need to check if stuff is there. But yeah, here we go. We have our SVG. Now, a couple of things that we need to do is, well, there are more than a couple of things. So let's talk about the import for a moment. So we have the import. First of all, we may want to have the drag and drop experience, right? Eventually, when you import, there are a couple of things that needs to happen. So you get the SVG, but what do? This is not the same as open. Open is not import. So this means that keep the size of the current canvas, while on the other side, if I have open, I want to change the size of the current canvas to match what I import, right? Yeah, okay. So this is the difference, I guess. The drag and drop stuff is basically import, and then we have also open. So in this case, what I need to do is just to keep the same information about the canvas and just throw this information inside. Now, question is Fabric going to allow, is it going to allow me to do that? FabricJS from SVG. Problem is that whenever I'm looking for answers in here, okay, perfect. I see this answer is from 2013. Okay, this is absolutely probably garbage. I cannot use this. I cannot use this unless they have kept the same thing. But 2013, it was version 1, so I'm not sure of any answer that I can find. Oh, loading SVG is V6. Perfect, perfect. This is what I'm looking for. Load from SVG from URL, but I see this here, SVG from string. So you have the string, right? Okay, but why do you have some custom options in here? Center scaling, fill, and stuff like that. Why do you have it? Let's do some tests. So first of all, this is better as a promise. Resolve, reject, but I think that I will resolve it anyway. And then you have this, and you need to await it, right? So await, and the result will be the text. This is what I want to do. And this here should be resolve. Yep, sounds about right. And when you have an error, I want you to print it, but actually want to resolve it as null. I don't want to throw errors, do weird stuff. So if simply there is no text, so error, no text, no SVG import, then you return. But otherwise in here we know that we have the imported file. So let's do text. I keep console login just to be extra sure that I don't miss anything, because it's multi-step, so I prefer to be sure. Yeah, so this still works. And now we can get the canvas, I guess. Yeah, get canvas if same thing as here. So cannot import as SVG. Canvas load, please load from JSON. Load from JSON. This is cool, but no. So how do you? Is it like a static method of load? Yeah, it is. Load SVG from URL, load from string. But this is missing some stuff. Okay, so in the options you have to pass the canvas, right? It has to be like this. No, it's not. How does it know the canvas? How does it know which canvas to load stuff to? Is it like in the reviver, element, fabric object? No, it's not. Wait, oh, wait. So it's promise and the parsing output. Oh, I see. It's not going to render them for you. It's just going to return the objects to you. I see. So this here, we actually need to, yeah, we can use the function load SVG from string, and then we are going to pass the text, or maybe not. That should be a string, right? So why are you complaining? This. Okay, the result. What is the type of the result? It's either like a string. Oh, okay, so can we just cast it into either like string or null? So a string in this case. There is no text. Wait, like any promise. Let me see. Does it matter? Array buffer, okay. It's not assignable to, man, if it's there, it's a string. Okay, perfect. So now this thing here, like it's an asynchronous operation that will return to us some stuff. And in it, we should have, let me double confirm, SVG parsing output, objects, and also elements. What is an element here? I'm more comfortable with objects. We are going to use objects and they should be fine. So objects here, yeah. Now objects, what do we do with that? We just render it into the canvas, right? So should be as easy as canvas add objects and then canvas update layers. No, this update layers and then canvas request render all, right? Okay, if objects, right? If not objects, we can just so there are no objects to import. Okay, now this should not be null anymore, right? So what is the issue in here? Fabric it's not assignable to. Okay, because it says that it's null, right? But what if it's not? No, it's not going to. Wait, is it because objects? Just a second. It's not objects itself. It's because one of the objects could be null or what? I don't know. Let me see. So import. Cool. Looks like it works. Looks like it works. And of course it's going to lose some information. It's going to lose some information, and also there is something that I don't know why there are two of them in here. This doesn't make much sense, but I will check it now. Let's check it again. So first of all, there is a typing issue in here that I'm not really sure about. Like this one, when it returns the objects, it could be an array of, oh, okay, it could be an array of stuff that is either null or a fabric object. Okay, fine. So what if I filter it away? All the elements, element that so in this way we are going to avoid that problem, and then we are going to put only the filtered objects, right? Okay, perfect. This is fixed. Okay, so this is fixed, and now I need to figure out why again. I need to close that feature completely. Let me see. So Finder, I need to check out the content of the exported SVG with the text, right? And the reason is, oh, okay, I see. So for some reason there is an invisible, I'm not sure whether on stream is visible this thing, but right now I'm investigating the exported SVG from before, and for some reason there is like an invisible rectangle in here. Wait, that's the background. That's the background. Oh, I see. So what I'm seeing there is actually the background. So wait. So we have this exported SVG. Let's try to import. Okay, import it. And this one has to be, yeah. It's in here, but it's actually the background. Okay, let's see. Is there any way to label them? Because like in the current status in here, if I open it again with the text edit, they have no extra information about anything basically, which I mean it's fine. Ideally it's fine, because if you don't have any information, you're not making like the file larger without any reason. But at the same time, like when you import it, you lose like everything else. Like I had no idea that this was the background. And I see. I mean, also like having width and height in percentage is not rendering it correctly for some reason. Because like, if you think about it, like this should not be here. This is like X position, Y position, okay, but then you have width and height, which is 100. Okay, it's like a rectangle in this way, 100. So it's actually taking like 100% and it's transforming it into just 100. That's weird. So why is it happening? Why is this happening? Let's start with the export again. So we are going to have this guy here. We're going to export it. And okay, fine. Now let's check what's inside of it. We are going to close this one. So here we go again. Here we have the width and height again for the background. Now, first of all, there should be an option to remove the background when you export. Let me do export and import. Export, remove background option. There should be an option for that. And also, even if you like export it, this should not be relative. This should not be relative in percentage, because when you import it, it's going to be wrong. Is it a known issue by any chance? Is it like export? There are many issues that are marked with export. Export background. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, because basically when you export it, like, it's not wrong exporting it in this way. It's probably wrong importing it in this way. The reason is the objects. Okay, so let's do another step. Let's analyze what are the objects in here. So let me just the filtered objects, right? Let's just print them. I just want to see what's in the objects when we import something. Okay, we have 2 of them in here, and they have a bunch of properties, right? And what I'm looking for right now is the rectangle. And the rectangle, I'm talking about the background. I want to see what size it has been assigned to it. Because like if it's 100, 100, right? It's like a conversion issue. I think that's the one. It's like straight up 100 stuff. Yeah, rectangle here. So yeah, here we go, like width 100, but actually it's converted in the wrong way. Like the width and the height of this thing should be 100%, meaning that it should go and use the view box, which is in here. Is this a bug? Because to me it looks like a bug. Yeah, and the reason why is because it's already in the object before even I place it onto the canvas. Because if it was before, if it was after, it means like I place it into the canvas and it cannot find the reference to where it's being placed, and therefore it assumes that 100 is its actual size. But in this case, they are being like load SVG from string. They are coming out of this thing directly with the wrong size. So the export is working, and the export says, okay, I'm going to give the background 100%. And yeah, this is simply not working the other way around. The documentation here is not saying much about it. It's not saying much about it. I guess it's a bug. But how do you... How do you work around it? Because in this case here, I had the viewbox height and the viewbox width, right? Same here. So that's not an indication. I cannot use that. But I need to find out. I need to find out the background when you import it, and I need to find the conversion. Reviver callback. This takes an element in the fabric object. And this is optional, right? I mean, we can try that. A and B, or whatever they are. And then, like, they are going to be calling on stuff, right? So these two should be functions, if I got that right. Too many things are being printed right now. I need to remove them. I cannot find out stuff. I can remove this one. Probably this one as well. Why not? This I need. Okay. Let me just comment it out for a moment. Maybe the situation now should be better. Okay, and 536 is in here. Yeah, so this is the thing. So, okay, so it's receiving actually the rectangle. Oh, I see what is going on. I see what is going on. And this is the conversion that you have. And it's clear here that this is the issue, right? Wait, is there any other indication inside of it? Because maybe it's not a bug. There should be some indication maybe that says, look, this is in percentages. So you should take that in consideration. And go. I simply think it's not there. Well, then the thing is, can I use the reviver function to change, like, this thing is supposed to do, this should change the output, right? Wait, if the fabric object here that I see is the final version and this function returns nothing, my expectation is that I take stuff from A, I modify B, and B stays modified. That's what I want. That's what I'm expecting right now. So what if A has, no. A, can we get an attribute? Yeah, get an attribute with, okay, I think I have an idea about this one. So we are going to have the with string, right? With string, and we are going to retrieve it from here. Hate string as well. And if the with string ends with the percentage, then we are going to take B, take the with, and actually what we are going to do is it's going to be the percentage, so it's going to be equal to B with multiplied by the B viewport. Why don't you have the get viewport transform? What is going to return me? Get viewport transform. It's a tmat2d. What is a tmat2d? A, B, C, D. What? It's like a transform matrix? Why? Why? Wait, why? I don't need it. I just needed the viewport size. Box. Do you have... Something's not right in here. Let me figure it out first. What's from get viewport transfer? It's not what I'm looking for, right? Or am I? Get viewport transform. What values I'm going to retrieve from this tmat2d here? Yeah. Okay. But this is the transform matrix, not the viewport values, right? Let me check out. Okay, it's actually faster just to check it, because otherwise I'm going to get like too much confused about this stuff. So what if I get the viewport transform of B when I'm trying to import? No, this is just the transformation. No, this is not going to help me. Not with what I need. But I actually know that this contains also like the viewbox height. So I know that the value is there. It's simply like the type it's not agreeing with that. And yeah, cool TypeScript, but yeah, I know the value is there. So this is going to be like 100 times this divided by 100, right? So yeah, height string. Yeah, I just forgot that this should be with string. You have to like slice with the length and stuff. What happens actually if I do like is it anyway like parse int? Is parse int doing some weird stuff maybe? Because that's JS. There should be, yeah, of course it is. So yeah, why should I bother? Why should I bother slicing and finding stuff when you can just say, you know what, parse int the width of the string, and basically this will be a number automatically. Yeah, why not? This doesn't absolutely make sense, but hey, it's JS, so it's fine, I guess. So height, viewbox height and viewbox width. Is this going to change that? Yeah, I mean, I don't have high expectations for this, but my idea is that this should modify the value. Yeah, actually it did. It actually did. Yeah, so this works as expected. And also the other layer is working fine. So now the thing is the background is being considered as a rectangle, but at the very least we fixed the issue with the percentages. So my understanding is that this is what it should be inside of the Fabric code, but currently is not. So I think that this is a bug. I probably should report it if it's not already reported. Otherwise, I'm just a fool and I'm missing something from their side. But like if you put width 100 when like the input source says 100%, you're basically missing a calculation, I guess. That's my expectation of why this thing is not working. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up for now, since it's getting a little bit late, and I'm pretty happy with the result. I would say that we have the import and export features as well, and they appear to be working correctly. I need to work out a little bit more maybe on this file menu. This was not expected to be here, so I need to connect all the functions and stuff, but this is more like a boring kind of thing to do. So yeah, I think I'll wrap it up for now, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.